All right, good afternoon. I am thrilled to be here today with the mayor of Istanbul, Ekrem İmamoğlu, for a conversation. Istanbul is a city that captivates the imagination. Rich in history, it's where the East meets the West. It's home to 16 million people, making it the 15th largest city in the world. Nobel Prize laureate Orhan Pamuk said beautifully, Istanbul is a city that is full of stories, full of life, constantly changing. It captures the imagination like no other city. It's a city of dreams, but like all cities, it faces great challenges. There's poverty, high costs of living, 2.5 million migrants, and of course, significant political complexity, where the mayor is an opposition mayor, working in a different party than his national government. I went to Istanbul a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, to check up on the mayor's work around Pay It Forward. This was a Global Mayor's Challenge winner after COVID. And I went there and I looked at the project, but what I came to see in my time in Istanbul was that something very special was happening with this mayor and the way he was leading the city. He was innovating governance, and I had a little chance to see it. So it's been my goal to get him to CityLab ever since. I'm thrilled to have you here, Mayor.
Thank you.
So let's start by talking about that Mayor's Challenge winning initiative, Pay It Forward. What is Pay It Forward, and what did it aim to achieve?
Thank you, Jim. First of all, let me say that it was very inspiring for me to join this year's CityLab. Actually, my team and I had the opportunity to benefit from many of the great ideas and experiences shared in the last 2 days. So thank you very much, all your team. And back to your question, our Pay It Forward platform embodies the essence of our solidarity municipalism, which is about citizens helping citizens. Citizens helping citizens. Launched during the first year of the pandemic, the platform began when 25% of Istanbul households applied for social aid because they could no longer pay their utility bills. The city tripled its social assistance budget, but still was not able to meet the demand. So we turned to an ancient custom and helped people to help each other. The municipality used the resources to identify those in need, verifying families with less than $100 income. They uploaded their utility bills on the platform, and donors covered those bills. But donors and the recipients remained anonymous. Donations went straight to the recipient's bills, ensuring 100% transparency. This peer-to-peer act of solidarity is simple and impactful. It mirrors an old Anatolian tradition, which is called bread on the hook, where people paid for an extra loaf for the next person in need. This system, so the platform's flexibility has exceeded our expectations. It has evolved to include cash support vulnerable groups such as mothers, students, and victims of the unfortunately earthquakes. As of today, over 440,000 bills have been paid. 440,000 bills. And over 250,000 beneficiaries have received support packages. And almost $15 million have flowed through this system. And both donations and pending requests are visible online for full transparency. What's more, 35 cities, for example, in Turkey, have adopted this model. And we are proud that Pay It Forward was selected as one of the winners of the Global Mayor's Challenge. Thank you, Bloomberg. And we are now reaching out to cities around the world to see how others can implement Pay It Forward under the Bloomberg's Idea Exchange program. To come to second part of your question, what does it achieve? I believe this project is critical for two reasons. First, it addresses rising urban poverty with a flexible model that adapts to evolving needs. And second, it rebuilds the social bonds that authoritarian populism seeks to weaken. We started in times of crisis, but what emerged is a powerful community spirit that defies divisions of ideology, religion, or gender. In Istanbul, we have proven that a city administration can build an empathy bridge when it's needed most. This is our project.
The building of that empathic bridge is absolutely the reason that it was selected to be a part of the Bloomberg Cities Idea Exchange. This is an idea that has currency and interest in cities all over the place. We're thrilled to continue to promote it. So you've mentioned solidarity governance, and that's a part of the Istanbul model.
Yes.
What is solidarity governance? What is the Istanbul model, and how does that model guide your actions and your priorities as mayor?
The Istanbul model is driven by three core pillars. Solidarity, as I mentioned, development and welfare. These principles guide every policy we implement. The first pillar is solidarity. Through Istanbul model, the city administration and its 32 municipal subsidiaries prioritize residents' needs. This is our first principle. This approach builds a creative, just, and green city while tackling complex challenges like migration, for example, and poverty and inequality. Solidarity principle also means facilitation of citizen platforms, such as Pay It Forward, which I already explained. The second pillar of model is development. Our focus is inequitable and smart urbanization, and we have made significant investment in extending metro lines and improving bus and sea routes, bringing mobility to underserved areas. So we are also expanding green spaces, ensuring that everyone has access to nature. We have already opened 13 million square meters of green space, including 6 city forests. We have created 22 new public squares, which are symbols of freedom of expression and association for cities. The third pillar of Istanbul is welfare, very important, and our policies ensure that all residents benefit from urban life, whether through enhanced public transport, access to cultural facilities, or opportunities for women and youth. Mothers, for example, this is a very special project for us. Mothers with children younger than 4 can use public transport free of charge. Free of charge. And nearly 700,000 mothers have made 160 million trips to take their children to school. Wow. Or to one of the 104 nurseries opened since we took office in 2019. We have another one, we have provided scholarship for university students to nearly 300,000 students in the last 4 years. And we will provide this year new scholarships to 100,000 more students for this period. Through these policies and practices, our priority is to address extreme poverty during the times of economic hardships. At the same time, for the future, we also have additional programs to support young entrepreneurs. And one final cross-cutting aspect of our approach is citizen participation in decision-making is another very important politics for us. This is best shown by our Budget is Yours initiative, where we prepare a part of Istanbul's budgets together with its citizens to increase citizens' participation in e-government and decision-making. We also created a super app which we call Istanbul is Yours. This is a new app, with one username and password, users can have access to over 90 apps inside it. And so far, 5.2 million in 2 years, 5.2 million users downloaded this app, and where they can also share their opinions on decisions affecting their lives. These wide consultations enable to us to feel the pulse of society, understand their expectations, and respond to them. In summary, Istanbul model guides us in building an inclusive, people-centered city where no one is left behind.
It's an amazing vision. And the citizen participation point is one that really caught my attention when I was in Istanbul. I think we have a few photographs to show. There's a great story. Before this mayor took office, the mayoral residence was a walled-off place, a large set of gardens, a large set of buildings, private swimming pool, only available to the mayor. This mayor tore down those walls, opened the place up, turned it into the city planning department. And what I love the most is he drained the swimming pool. And he drained the swimming pool and called it the pool of ideas. And the pool of ideas is a place that the city planning department brings in residents for brainstorming sessions and policy-making sessions, all going back to this idea that the mayor just spoke about around solidarity and participation. It was so inspiring. So, Mayor, in a world where democracy and world peace are threatened, how do you see the role of city leadership? What is the role of city leaders at this time? There's the pool.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah, that is the pool. Yes. Change is very good.
Yes.
Authoritarian politicians today follow a well-known playbook. They exploit social divisions, undermine democratic institutions, and silence dissent. This doesn't just happen within national borders. They create, and at the same time, external enemies and fuel conflict abroad to solidify their control on power. The challenges Istanbul faces today are not simply due to the growing authoritarianism at home, but unfortunately in the whole neighborhood. The Syrian civil war has displaced 12 million people, and many of them have sought refuge in Turkey. Wars in Ukraine and in the Middle East are contributing to more humanitarian crisis with millions displaced in the region, and now 2.5 million refugees only in Istanbul. Istanbul is once more at the front line as Syrians, Ukrainians, and others look for refuge. This challenge is too great for Istanbul and Turkey to face alone. The cities are affected directly by the migration and refugee crisis. However, their role in shaping global policies is very limited. So the mayors should collaborate more to impact decision-making process. If we believe human rights and justice, we must react to humanitarian tragedies with the same degree of determination, regardless of where they emerge. Unfortunately, this is not always the case. And that is why liberal democracy is losing ground, and why so many people feel that the global system is failing them. The founder of my political party and the founder of Turkish Republic, Mustafa Kemal Atatürk, warned the national leaders that unless a nation's life faces peril, war is a murder. Unless a nation faces peril, war is a murder. It's very important. In a world where we have to understand that his famous dictum, peace at home, peace in the world, is still a guiding principle for me. In a world where democracy and global peace are threatened, the city leaders must raise their voice and take initiatives for peace and cooperation. And this is exactly what we are doing in Istanbul and beyond. We have started a regional city network in the Balkans with 23 cities in 2021. B40, the name is B40, as we call it, is now a platform for collaboration among 65 cities of all Balkans. Some of them are represented now here in this room. This December, for example, not only for Balkans, this December we will convene in Istanbul the mayors of the major cities of the Middle East and North Africa, and to discuss how we can address the sources to conflict and build a better future for all based on peace and cooperation. We also plan to take initiative among the cities of Black Sea coast also. So we know that Istanbul is very important in our region. So in all these initiatives, we share our experience on how we deal with authoritarian populism at home through the Istanbul model, which I already described. This is how I believe city leaders can make critical difference to defend peace and democracy. Because without peace, mayors, there is no democracy.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Our last question, and then we will wrap up. You just won a resounding election, re-election. Congratulations on that. We're sitting in a room filled with mayors and city innovators. What is your advice for those in the room, many of whom are also concerned and focused on democracy and strengthening participation?
And to address the global crisis of democracy, we must go beyond the traditional approaches of liberal and social democracies. We need a new vision, Jim. We need a new vision and fresh language. And innovative leadership that truly places people at the center of politics. I call this approach democratic peopleism. Democratic peopleism, a redefinition of populism which has earned a bad reputation but can be turned on its head. Instead of division and inequality, this form of leadership emphasizes inclusion, fairness, and respect for all groups. Authoritarian populists grow by exploiting social divisions and inequality. Our response must be built systems that promote justice, systems where vulnerable groups are respected and recognized, and resources and opportunities and redistributed fairly. That's why I embrace the motto of the 3 R's: respect, recognize, and redistribute. By focusing on solidarity, development, and welfare, we can create cities and eventually societies where democracy not only survives but thrives. I believe that this century will be the century of cities. That means the century of mayors. Cities are the best places where we will find solutions to the most urgent global problems. Cities are the best places where we will defend and reinforce democracy. And we, the mayors, have to take this responsibility and be the drivers of change. Change is very good for a better tomorrow at home and abroad. This is exactly why I came to join you here today. Thanks for inviting me. Thank you very much, Jim.
Thank you so much. What an excellent note to end on.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, everyone, that brings us to the end of our program. The mayor from Istanbul, I think, illustrated the heart of why we host CityLab every year. We think about it this way at Bloomberg: if you want to support a nation, equip a mayor. We believe at Bloomberg Philanthropies that the strength of any nation is fostered in its cities, and the mayors who lead them are on the front lines of every single issue we face today, whether it's economic inequality, migration, war. Equipping mayors is not just cities' work, it's nation building. We are at a point in time where change is the new norm in City Hall. We heard that all over the last few days. Mayors wake up with one new crisis every other minute. And with elections happening over the globe in the next 2 weeks, more change is only coming. Our team at Bloomberg Philanthropies is so glad to have all of you in this community. We believe that we are stronger when we work together and when we share solutions that are working in one place to another. And so I thank you for being here with us this year. This is a wrap. On behalf of Mike Bloomberg and Patty Harris, our CEO, we want to really thank the City of Mexico for its amazing partnership. We want to thank the Aspen Institute, our extraordinary partners. And if I might just ask the entire Bloomberg Philanthropies team to just stand up and take a round of applause for all the hard work everybody put in to making this conference work. Thank you all so much. Please get home safely, and please look forward to your save to the date for next year's CityLab. We'll be back in touch soon. Thank you.